Okay, yeah, we'll just kick it off. Tell the people who you are.
Hey, peace and much love. What's going on, world? My name is David Lifted Kumidai. I'm a MC. I'm a member of the Temple of Hip Hop. I'm a local entrepreneur. I own a business called Hip Hop Northern Promotions. And today here, I'm also going to be talking about the Unity Community Cleanup, which I am one of the founders of the newer Unity Community Cleanup. So yeah, I'm one of the founders and people that run that. So pleased to be here today and to talk to you today, Blaine.
I love it. I love it. Thanks for showing out. I really appreciate it. Yeah, we'll get right into it. How did the Unity Community Cleanup come to be, and what's your role in it, and what, if you know, what inspired its creation?
Yeah, I have to shout out the original Unity cleanup, which was started almost 15 years ago by a man named Shane Dennis, also known as LS. He's a local hip hop as well, such as myself, that started it that many years ago. It was something that he started just because he's passionate about the environment and community and being a good example to others and bringing people together. So about 15 years ago, the original Unity cleanup was started. I'm not even sure if that's what the name of it was, but that activity already had begun downtown Barrie, where their base was located out of. So he did that for almost 10 years. And unfortunately, Unity Market, the spot, the location that they based their cleanups out of, had to move. So I used to go there all the time and was inspired. I used to partake in the cleanups and all the other activities that used to happen at Unity Market. And because it left such a profound imprint on me, and as well as others in the community, Unity Market itself, I decided to restart the cleanups back in 2021. And yeah, it's just became a weekly activity that I started doing. And soon after, others started following. This was around the time of COVID, coming out of COVID. It was like weird times. People were so isolated, they wanted something to do. And also being impacted and inspired by Unity Market and the Unity cleanup, I wanted to do something to keep that name alive and keep that legacy going. So I got Shane's blessings to start Unity Community Cleanup and continue the works through that. And yeah, it's really about bringing people together. I know that us cleaning up litter, on one side of the stick, it's like we piled up bags and bags and bags of garbage, over the past 3, 4 years that we've been doing this now, and even much more over the past years that Shane and all the people that contributed to the original cleanup started. So there's all that garbage that would have gotten blown into the lake or down the sewage pipes or just disintegrated over time and just seep into the soil. So there is definitely a positive effect of us cleaning up all the cigarette butts as well. That's a big one because those like to go right into the storm drains and the lakes and poison the ecosystem. So there's definitely a big impact that we did by cleaning up all that garbage, but also just the fact of as well that we inspires people's minds and their spirits to want to do better, right? Like if you see somebody putting in work and making a difference, it's going to inspire you. And especially by something as simple as picking up a little stick and spending an hour and a half of your morning on a weekend or an afternoon and just going around, walking around with people and having meaningful conversations, participating in a positive, engaging activity. So there's that aspect of it as well. We all really are very connected to that purpose, of connecting with each other, building community, giving people an outlet to come have a meaningful conversation and connect to what others are doing. And yeah, there's also one other thing. When I restarted the cleanups this go around about 3 years ago in 2021, there's a document in hip hop culture that was presented at the United Nations in 2001, May 16th, that is called the Hip Hop Declaration of Peace, and there's 18 guiding principles. The one that motivated me was the 15th principle, which is hip hop is respect and learn from the ways of nature, regardless of where they are on this planet. Hip hop culture holds sacred our duty to contribute to our own survival as independent, free thinking beings in and throughout the universe. This planet, commonly known as Earth, is our nurturing parent, and hip hoppers are encouraged to respect nature and all creations and inhabitants of nature. So that other thing was one of the other key that principles was one of the other key factors that motivated us to do this and to give the community around us a positive light on what hip hop culture is, a positive perspective, because a lot of people don't understand that, this is a culture, hip hop, and we don't, mainstream media and mainstream music portrays a different image of what hip hop is. So we try to, you know, use this foundation that was set for us and provide other impactful perspectives of it as well, a re-education of who we are. So I know you were not looking for long answers. That was a long answer.
Sweet. No, no,
Um,
I love it. I love it. That actually like it answered so many of my questions I actually had. Like one of them was like the environmental impact that you want to have, and you definitely touched on that. And then the local issues that the cleanup targets is just, yeah, that was answered in that. And bridging it with the principles of hip hop is just such an incredible way. I see so many parallels between that and the indigenous perspective and like the two-eyed seeing approach of like how like I have this thing that I learned this year in this class where you don't you don't walk on the earth, you walk with the earth. And like
mm,
having that distinction of like the on versus the with is like something that really stood out to me. Like we should strive to walk gently with the earth and be a part of it and give back and have like a reciprocal relationship with Mother Nature. Because it seems as though when we get caught up in like the day to day, it's always like a take, take, take from the earth, and there's never many things that people do um being well fully aware of like this is how I'm giving back. So and I think that's like one thing that was the goal of this project is how can we get involved, what are our passions, and how can we give back. And one of the things that I'm really passionate about is like content creation, writing music, and all that stuff. So if my role in all of this is to just shine some light on it and get involved where I can, that is something that like brings me a lot of joy. So to flip it back to you, what aspects of leading or participating in the cleanup brings you the most joy?
I just, to me, and this is outside of even the cleanup, as you know, I'm a promoter, I'm an event organizer. It's when we bring people together, spend that time doing whatever we do, and then they walk away feeling better. You know what I mean? Just increasing that vibration of positivity in people, and there, sometimes I fail at that drastically. You know what I mean? It's not, it's something you aim for, and the thing that I love about the cleanup is it's just so simple. Anybody can do it. You know what I mean? Unless, you're missing, arms or whatever. I don't even want to say that. I don't want to, exclude anybody in it because, there's always a way to participate. Even your presence, just being there and seeing people's reactions and people seeing that there's like sometimes we've had up to 20 people or more even come to a cleanup, and when you see a big group of people like that downtown amongst all the issues that we have downtown, like just doing something as simple as walking around and picking up all the garbage, and just you could see we're there, we're a force, and we're having great conversations, we're laughing, we're playing music. So that itself is like I said, impactful. And when I get to see that and we walk away, I know it's a success, and that's what inspires me and motivates me because it's a very simple task, but it's also really effective, and anybody can connect to it. It's universally, you know, understood, I guess.
Hmm. How do you maintain the community engagement and keep people motivated to return for future events? Like you mentioned, like music, so that's how you could maybe keep people motivated when like you guys are doing the cleanup and all that type of stuff. But how do you go about promoting this and how do you maintain people coming back?
So it kind of just it's like one of those things that speaks for itself. It works for itself. It's infectious, when you show up and you start to clean up, people come there and you get like a good dosage of inspiration, and it doesn't really take much. We're just being ourselves out there. We're not even trying. We're just walking around. Sometimes we're freestyling. We pass on the mic, and it's just us having joy in our natural element. We're walking with the earth when we're doing this, right? And I think that's naturally magnetic to people, and but we do our fair share of also putting the word out so that people know, because if they don't know, they can't participate. So we have a social media account, Unity Community Cleanup, on Instagram, and word of mouth is also something that we do. So we try to engage people in that way. And we do have events as well. We threw a food drive as well at Queens Park and the skate park this year, and it was a big success. A lot of people came through. We raised um, food and donations for the youth shelter. Big up to Jen and Youth Haven and all the good people out there. So there's just different ways that we engage, doing what we would do normally, but adding the Unity community cleanup aspect to it. And right now, currently, we're going through a transformation. We're taking a bit of a hiatus. We're still going to do a couple cleanups. Maybe not as frequently as we have, but it's something that people can still plug into, and we're just evolving. So we're looking to see what the next steps for us will be.
Sweet, sweet. You mentioned Youth Haven. So what partnerships or other networks have been most valuable in supporting Unity community cleanup initiatives?
I think that mostly it's us as a collective, everybody that shows up regularly, which as of late hasn't been as consistent, just because everybody's life is changing a little bit. So, like I said, we're going through this transformation. But of course, myself, I got to shout out my brother Gusto, Mark, Sandra, Marla, Shane, Dennis, Cindy, all the other people who have started in the past. Everybody that a lot of us that contribute, we're artists, and so us as artists have our followings, and we have our little networks that we work within. So we get support from that. We get support from the people that are in the community that see what we're doing. So a lot of our stuff is grassroots, and just it's like, yeah, grassroots based. So there's not necessarily organizations, but we have won an award from Barrie today. We won a community builder award. I have it here. I wanted to show you guys just for receipts and for historic purposes. This is the community builder award for commitment and leadership in the environment, 2022 Barrie. So yeah, that was awarded to us, the community cleanup, Unity Community Cleanup. We've worked with the Barrie Native Friendship Center as well, donating to them and organizing events that contributed toward their cause. Youth Haven. We've spoken with Food Bank. We've collaborated with Clean Up Barrie, which is another cleanup organization. Shout out to Jen over there. So it's actually, also, I got to shout out Nook Yoga, who's given us several month passes for the work that we've done. So big up to them as well. There's various collaborations that we do that arise organically as we do our thing when we do it. So
I love
it
it.
kind of
I
works in
love
that
it.
way.
That's awesome. Okay, and then sort of moving this conversation to a different direction, but in your view, what actions or policy changes would make the biggest difference for local environmental efforts here in Barrie? Like I know we briefly mentioned that downtown is in a interesting state right now, to say the least, but is there any actions or specific changes that you would like to see that would make a difference in our local environment?
Um, you know, there's this idea. I'll tell you. I'll tell you. Well, maybe I'll save that for the second half of my answer. The first half, I'm not exactly sure. I'm not an expert on this. I'm just somebody who is action orientated, and I'm not an expert on the environment and pollution and climate change and those type of things. I'm an artist, so I'm here to inspire. As artists, that's what our job is to inspire people with a message. And I do think, obviously, being educated on this topic is very important. As far as policy changes and implementing changes from the top down, from the government downwards, I'm not sure because as industry and pollution and stuff like that and commercial production is it's sometimes it comes down to the bottom line, which is making money. And there's a lot of behind the scenes stuff that happens that, unfortunately, the environment and this planet takes the toll, pays the price for dirty business. So it would be really hard for us to demand change. I think we'd have to like boycott big companies to as a whole to really make a difference because that's what speaks the loudest. But locally, I mean, I guess if people, as far as like what we do, if government wants to implement more programs where people can, participate in presentations and workshops and seminars where they get to learn about the importance of climate change and doing simple things such as participating in a cleanup or just different things that they can do around the house, use less plastic, so on and so forth. I think that would be great, but you got to do it in a way that is inspiring because everybody knows the planet's going through a tough time, and that there's way more pollution than we need, and there's a lot of inequality in different areas of how we sustain ourselves in the environment, food deserts, farming practices, all kind of stuff, right? So we all know that that's happening, but if there's a way that we can be inspired to do simple things to make a difference, then that would be great, So I think edutainment, a term coined by the teacher KRS-One, one of hip hop's pioneers, is a great way to do stuff. You teach people, but you entertain them. So educate and entertain, right? And if we found a vehicle to do that through, and bring more of this awareness to the people where they were felt encouraged to do things that made a difference, then that's what would be good. So I think local government, if they could get behind those type of ideas and put resources into it, it would make a difference. If that answers your question.
It does. It does. It's a really good answer. I love the KRS-One reference. That's very good. Education and entertaining with the focus of inspiration, man. That's cool. I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, one final question. And it's what advice would you give somebody who's looking to either get involved or start their own climate initiative in their own communities?
Um, see, reach out into your community and see if anybody's doing anything already, because the best way you can learn is, uh, I guess, just jump right into it, and whether somebody's there or not. But if somebody is there doing something, it's great, man. I think most people that are doing this type of work, they're open to, and they're open and friendly to help people expand their perspective and on how to get deeper into that type of work. Might not be full on mentorship, but just people who are willing to share their experience, what they've gained, the knowledge they've gained doing whatever project they're involved in. There's a lot of stuff, I think, depending if you're in a very small rural place, it might be difficult to find somebody, but I mean, you have the internet nowadays, so it's not hard to search. There's a lot of volunteer groups and people that are doing great things that are willing to help you learn and understand and inspire to see, you know, and determine what it is you want to do and how you could go about it. Yeah, I think it's definitely important to get that perspective developed and approach before you figure out what you want to do because it takes consistency also. I think it's important people realize that being consistent makes you be perceived as being reliable, and that's important if you're going to be doing things publicly that people want to be a part of. You want to be accountable, you want to be reliable, and consistency is king. So yeah, that's what I think would be good. Get educated, get your hands dirty, get out there, connect with people who are doing it, and yeah, sky's the limit, man. Literally, it doesn't matter whether it's small or a big thing. You can decide what you want to do. If we all did one little thing, a lot of great things would get done. So there's no reason to think that your contribution, even if it's minor, doesn't make a big impact as well. So
Sweet. I love that. I love that. Amazing. That's incredible. I really appreciate that answer, and I appreciate the answers to all the other questions that I had. I think we're going to end it off there because there's plenty of thinking to do after this conversation. But yeah, if you just
yeah,
want to tell the people where to find you, plug whatever you want, and yeah, we'll wrap her up.
yeah, no doubt, man. I appreciate you, Blaine. I appreciate you guys doing the work that you're doing. The students are the future of this world here. So keep learning, keep inspiring, keep sharing, keep creating. Once again, my name is LiftiD. LIFTID is how you spell my name. I'm an artist. I'm a hip hop artist, and I represent the Temple of Hip Hop. We're a hip hop preservation ministry, archive, school, and society. You can find us on Instagram and at thetempleofhiphop.org if you want to learn more about what we do. And myself, you can find me on Instagram at LIFTID hip hop. Check me out. I'm going to be in your city tour and we're going to shut it down. All right.
Let's
Yo,
do
thank
it. Hell yeah. I'll put all that stuff in the description too, so people can check it out there and quick hyperlinks, you know what I'm saying? But thanks again so much for doing this. I appreciate it.
you. Much appreciated, man. Likewise. We'll connect soon, man.
All right. All right. Take care. Peace
Blessings.
out. Bye.